The Indiana Fever, they've not been in the greatest situation.
Stephanie White decides to change things up, slow the things down, take Caitlin out the game.
Enough's enough. We've seen enough. This girl don't know what she's doing. She is not a credible coach. She thinks it's smart making Caitlin Clark a small forward.
Caitlin Clark clearly not happy with this.
Just now, Stephanie White made a move that shocked the basketball world.
Stephanie White is not going to change.
Stephanie White's style of coaching is not for Caitlin Clark.
Stephanie White, I'll say it again, you are a pure bum of a coach. Trash.
I've never thought that I would be saying this. The Indiana Fever needs to fire Stephanie White.
Caitlin Clark has been stripped of point guard duties, and Ari McDonald is now running the offense.
She wants to prioritize Ari McDonald now all of a sudden.
If you're 100% Team Caitlin, drop a 100% in the comments right now. Because this isn't just a bad coaching decision, it's a problem that could derail everything.
Nobody on this team sets screens.
Caitlin Clark is obviously the reason why everybody's watching the WNBA. She's the reason why all these fans are tuning in.
Caitlin Clark has captivated the nation, breaking scoring records in college and bringing women's basketball to a whole new audience.
She is a phenomenon.
Caitlin Clark didn't come into the WNBA to become a screener. She came in as a generational point guard, the engine of the offense, the player who makes everything go.
That Indiana is even more dangerous when Caitlin Clark doesn't play.
The Indiana Fever have dropped the ball. You do not deserve Caitlin Clark.
And yet, just weeks after returning from injury, Stephanie White made the unthinkable decision. She removed Caitlin from the point guard role and handed it over to Ari McDonald.
Caitlin Clark is a shooting guard thing. So it's like Caitlin Clark returns tonight. Fever are giving a superstar a fresh new look by playing her off the ball.
White's reasoning? She wants Clark to play more off the ball, saying it will unlock cleaner looks. But here's the problem. Clark is not built for off-ball basketball. Not yet. She's statistically far better off the dribble than spotting up.
Caitlin Clark is better shooting off the dribble than off the catch.
Like I said, that's what I'm best at. So we're still going to do a lot of that.
Taking her out of rhythm kills her efficiency.
If it's just running the same almost quick hitters over and over and over again, like they did last year, then that's not good for Caitlin Clark playing off the ball.
And the teams. Clark herself has spoken out subtly but consistently.
Every single interview, she has taken a jab at the coach.
In interviews, she said, "I'm at my best in transition with the ball in my hands. Everybody knows that."
That's what I'm at my best in transition. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, I think I conceded a little too much to Atlanta in the last game. The first game, they guarded me the same way, and I was a little more aggressive. I think we need to do a better job of getting me the ball in transition, whether somebody's there or not. I think there's a fine balance of playing me off the ball and also getting the ball in my hands. That's when I'm the best in transition. Everybody knows that. I'm very open about that.
Everybody except apparently Stephanie White. Now she's being used as a decoy.
She's just going to use her as a decoy. And she doesn't even have gravity as a decoy.
Asked to set screens, run around off ball.
Nobody on this team sets screens. She sets great screens. Something happened off the ball.
And float in the corners. Like she's a role player.
Then when we have opportunity to practice, go through reps in practice of what these angles look like, it's her being a really good cutter and screener herself. I think she missed some opportunities that we talked about there. We have to anticipate that. Teams are going to give us different looks. Great scorers, if they're great screeners, they're going to get open look.
Not the offensive cornerstone. It's not just a bad fit. It's borderline disrespectful to her talent. What makes it worse? This isn't working. Offenses are no longer keying in on Clark. Teams are putting lesser defenders on her, sometimes even backups. And it works because she's no longer initiating. She's being iced out of her own team's offense.
And she's doing nothing herself.
Last season, Clark controlled the tempo, read the floor, collapsed defenses, and opened up shots for everyone else.
The ball was in Caitlin Clark's hand. She was being aggressive. She was pushing tempo.
This year, the Fever stall when she's on the floor because she's not allowed to be Caitlin Clark.
Natasha Howard just seems like she just checks out when Caitlin Clark is on the floor.
Stephanie White doesn't trust her to run the team.
It is a philosophical problem. She does not believe that style of basketball is going to win. She does not believe it because she does not allow Caitlin Clark play through mistakes.
Not because of performance, but because of philosophy.
Stephanie White is not going to stop until her style of drag everyone down to their level basketball prevails.
She believes in a system that slows the game down, spreads the usage.
Like, they brought in Stephanie White, it seemed, to play an old style of basketball because that's what she does.
And neutralizes stars. But that system doesn't work with a generational player. You don't shrink the spotlight on Caitlin Clark. You build the arena around her.
It's the low shot attempts from Caitlin Clark. It's the low usage from Caitlin Clark. Future of Caitlin Clark with this Fever team. I do not think she can grow with the team where she's forced to do what she doesn't like to do.
With Caitlin Clark pushed off the ball, Ari McDonald has now been handed the keys to the Indiana Fever's offense. Stephanie White called it a dual ball handler system, but make no mistake, Ari is running point. She's bringing the ball up, initiating sets, and controlling possessions. Clark is no longer the general. She's just a soldier. Now, let's be clear. Ari McDonald is a talented guard. She's quick, aggressive, and brings defensive energy. But here's the truth. This is not her team. This is not her moment. And this experiment of replacing a once-in-a-generation offensive engine with a solid role player, it's not just misguided. It's sabotaging the Fever's entire potential. When McDonald runs the offense, the pace slows.
It's clear that Ari McDonald is going to be the point guard to stay.
The flow dies. The defensive pressure eases because teams no longer have to deal with Caitlin Clark bringing the ball up 94 feet.
We saw Kat Copper have a 5-point game against the Fever last year because she was too busy guarding Caitlin Clark.
One of the most dynamic playmakers in the world is suddenly standing in the corner, being used like a shooter when that's not her strength. Teams are catching on quickly. They no longer need to assign their top defender to Clark. They put anyone on her because she's no longer in the heart of the action. In fact, Caitlin Chen, a fringe-level guard, was guarding Caitlin Clark. And guess what? Clark didn't even touch the ball.
They put Caitlin Chen on Caitlin Clark yesterday. They put Caitlin Chen on her, and you went away from Caitlin Clark.
That's how far she's been sidelined in this system. McDonald may have energy, but she lacks the gravity. She doesn't bend defenses. She doesn't create wide-open threes just by existing on the court the way Clark does. Offenses aren't collapsing when McDonald drives. They're watching her, waiting, and it shows. The spacing has collapsed. The creativity is gone. The Fever offense has become painfully predictable and easy to shut down. And it's not just the ball handling shift. It's the complete failure to utilize the weapons around Caitlin. When she was on ball last year, blitzes turned into 4-on-3s.
They had Lexi Hull standing in this corner. Nalissa Smith was kind of roaming. Nalissa Smith, apparently, she was kind of getting in the way a lot of the time. But what they had was Caitlin running the pick and roll with Leah about here. Caitlin would come off it. Aaliyah would short roll to here. And Caitlin would hit her on that short roll if they didn't blitz Caitlin.
Aaliyah Boston was hitting short rolls. Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hall were getting clean looks. The whole system clicked. Now, nobody moves when Caitlin gets blitzed. The ball sticks. Screens are soft or non-existent.
When Caitlin gets blitzed, Aaliyah Boston short rolls, nobody moves.
There's no DHO movement, no pick and roll counters, just static, stale basketball. Let's be honest. This isn't about Ari McDonald being better. It's about Stephanie White enforcing her system over optimizing her superstar. And that system favors players like Natasha Howard and Kelsey Mitchell. Veterans who want their touches, their ISOs, their MVP campaigns. But here's the danger. It's one thing to experiment. It's another to disrespect your cornerstone. Ari McDonald is being elevated not because it's working, but because it's comfortable for White's old school style. It slows the game down. It spreads the ball. But what it doesn't do is win games or build chemistry. This move hasn't unlocked the Fever. It's locked them into mediocrity. They're not maximizing Ari. They're minimizing Caitlin. And that's the kind of mistake franchises don't come back from.
There were so many plays where Ari McDonald would bring it up and then Caitlin Clark would come off these screens that weren't even good screens. They weren't even good picks. And then you're seeing the Indiana Fever offense totally crash, or Caitlin Clark might not touch the ball till 9 seconds left in the shot clock.
This isn't just a coaching decision. This is a line in the sand moment for the Indiana Fever. And honestly, for the future of the WNBA. Because when you take a generational player like Caitlin Clark and push her out of her natural position, you're not just changing the offense. You're taking a hammer to the foundation of what made this team matter. Let's be blunt. Caitlin Clark is the reason the Indiana Fever are relevant.
Caitlin Clark has changed the game. She changed it in college and in the WNBA.
Country has fallen in love with what we have created. And America, here's the girl next door, all grown up, Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark has captivated the nation, breaking scoring records in college and bringing women's basketball to a whole new audience.
She is a phenomenon.
She's the reason tickets sell out. She's the reason millions of new fans tune into games, buy jerseys, and care about this league. She isn't just a rookie, she's the face of a revolution. So what did Stephanie White and the front office do? They made her a decoy.
She's just going to use her as a decoy. And she doesn't even have gravity as a decoy.
They've put Clark in the corner, literally and figuratively. They've taken the player who led NCAA basketball in points and assists, who elevated her teammates with every possession, and turned her into a screener, like a role player, like a placeholder. And what's worse, it's not a temporary adjustment. This is a philosophical commitment. White's entire system is built around we over me.
Buying into we over me. She specifically pointed out Tyrese Halliburton getting his teammates involved early can be a lesson for Clark.
Shared usage, equal touches, a slow, methodical style meant to grind games down and control possessions. That works if you're coaching a middle school team. It does not work when you have Caitlin Clark. Think about this. The Indiana Fever had a chance to become the WNBA's Warriors. Fast-paced, electrifying, must-watch TV. Instead, they're becoming the Connecticut Sun 2.0, except without the wins. They had lightning in a bottle, and they put the lid back on. This coaching shift is already doing visible damage.
Her getting the rebound, pushing up the floor, hitting the step back mid-range jump shot. This was clean. She had a few missed mid-range jump shots in this game. But the reason I pointed out this play was because Caitlin Clark off a rebound is able to push the pace. The ball is in her hands and she's going to work. She's going one-on-one. That's her game. Caitlin Clark is a one-on-one player.
Caitlin's stats are dipping. Her usage is down. Her turnovers are up because she's being forced to make plays from awkward off-ball catches. The chemistry is breaking. Lexi Hull, one of the few players who thrived alongside Clark, barely sees the floor. The offense is collapsing. When teams blitz McDonald, there's no elite counter. When they blitz Clark, nobody moves. The system chokes under pressure. The locker room is cracking. Clark's tone in interviews is different. She's frustrated.
This is genuinely, she's pissed. She is pissed.
Sarcastic. I'm working on my screening, she said, like LeBron James being asked to learn how to rebound better. This isn't just friction, it's a fire waiting to spread. And here's the most dangerous part. This is how careers get derailed. Every year, a franchise gets handed a generational talent, and some of them blow it. Not because the player wasn't good enough, but because the system suffocated them. Because egos or old school philosophies or politics got in the way of putting the ball in the Stars' hands. Ask yourself, would the Mavs have told Luka Doncic to go stand in the corner so Spencer Dinwiddie could run the offense? Would the Lakers ever have taken the ball from Magic Johnson to improve ball movement?
It's like telling Steph Curry the teams are guarding the three-point shot, so stop taking them. It's like saying Shaq. It's like the Lakers. Imagine the 2000 Lakers literally saying this. Shaq draws double teams, so it's going to be hard for Shaq. So we're going to stop giving the ball to Shaq.
Would the Cavs have sidelined LeBron James to give Carlos Boozer more shots? Never. Not in a million years. Because great teams know you don't diminish your stars. You unleash them. Right now, Stephanie White is choosing system over superpower. She's choosing comfort over chaos. And it's a choice that could cost the Fever everything. Wins, fans, chemistry, future free agents. And most of all, Caitlin Clark herself.
Caitlin Clark has changed the game. She changed it in college and in the WNBA.
Country has fallen in love with what we have created. And America, here's the girl next door, all grown up, Caitlin Clark.
Her presence and her impact in women's basketball is referred to as the Caitlin Clark effect.
You can already feel it in the air. The tension, the missed opportunities, the growing silence in the huddles. If this doesn't change, one of two things will happen. Caitlin Clark will demand change, a new role, a new coach, or even a new team. Or worse, she'll adapt to mediocrity. She'll be forced into a system that dulls her spark, that breaks her rhythm, that clips her wings, and that, more than anything, is why this is serious. Because the WNBA cannot afford to waste Caitlin Clark, the Fever cannot afford to fail her, and basketball as a sport cannot afford to keep repeating the same mistake, punishing greatness to protect ego or preserve systems that no longer work. This isn't just a coaching decision, it's a crossroads.
There's a bit of a divide between the way that they see the game and the way that they think the Indiana Fever should play.
And the wrong turn could echo for years.
Clearly, her philosophy on basketball has not changed.
At first glance, this looks like a basketball problem, a coaching disagreement, a scheme mismatch. But when you dig deeper, a troubling pattern emerges, and it points to something much bigger than just X's and O's. There's a growing sense that the Indiana Fever, and maybe even the league itself, don't want Caitlin Clark to be the centerpiece. Not because she isn't good enough, but because her stardom is too big, too fast. From day one, Clark brought millions of fans with her. She sold out arenas, broke ratings records, and instantly became the face of women's basketball. But instead of embracing that, it feels like her team has been actively dimming her spotlight. Think about it. We've seen headlines like, "There's more to the Fever than Caitlin Clark."
The Indiana Fever, they've not been in the greatest situation.
Stephanie White decides to change things up, slow the things down, take Caitlin out the game.
Enough's enough. We've seen enough. This girl don't know what she's doing. She is not a credible coach. She thinks it's smart making Caitlin Clark a small forward.
Caitlin Clark.
We've seen other players with less impact pushed to the forefront, getting more plays, more shots, and more media push. We've seen Natasha Howard talking about MVP ambitions, Kelsey Mitchell getting ISO calls, and Dana Bonner promoted like the franchise centerpiece. All while Clark stands in the corner, waiting for a touch. It's hard to ignore the possibility that the Fever front office is intentionally balancing the spotlight, even if it means minimizing the one player who brought the light in the first place. It's almost as if they're afraid the team will be seen as a one-woman show.
When he's not on the floor, that ball is moving, it's popping, multiple players getting involved.
So they're trying to dilute her impact, even if it hurts the team. And let's not forget, we've seen this playbook before. Last year, parts of the WNBA media pushed a promote everyone else narrative at Clark's expense, and it backfired. Fans didn't switch allegiances, they didn't adopt new stars, they simply stopped watching. Or worse, they became alienated from the league entirely. Now that same miscalculation is happening inside her own locker room. The Fever seem more focused on proving they're more than just Caitlin Clark than actually winning basketball games. They'd rather showcase balance than build a dynasty around a transcendent star.
You're essentially basically just saying, Caitlin, you're the mascot now. You're the mascot now. We're gonna lose. We're gonna play boring, and we only care about the ticket sales.
And that's not just short-sighted. It's self-sabotage. In professional sports, you build around greatness.
We're gonna take it away. We're not gonna let the other team take away her talent because we're gonna take it away.
You don't hide it. You don't neutralize it. You don't silence it to protect egos or politics. Imagine if the NBA had done this to LeBron as a rookie, or if the Spurs had told Tim Duncan to defer to veterans because he was just getting started. Those franchises leaned into their stars. That's why they thrived. That's why they built legacies. But here, it feels like the Fever, and maybe others, are more concerned with managing narratives than maximizing wins. And that's why this goes beyond basketball. This is about control, about image, about ego. And unfortunately, Caitlin Clark is paying the price for all of it.
I think she's lost Caitlin as a player.
Caitlin Clark didn't come to the WNBA to be background noise. She came to change the game. And right now, that change is being silenced, not by opponents, but by her own team.
Maximize the business opportunities that have come from having Caitlin Clark to the team and to build a bigger dedicated fan base for themselves off Caitlin Clark's back, but not centered around Caitlin.
Stephanie White may think this is just strategy, but to the fans, to the league, to anyone who knows greatness when they see it, this feels personal. If you believe Caitlin Clark deserves better, if you believe the Fever are wasting a once-in-a-lifetime talent, Drop a 100% in the comments right now, because this isn't just basketball. This is about respecting greatness when it's right in front of you.
Her presence and her impact in women's basketball is referred to as the Caitlin Clark effect.
Country has fallen in love with what we have created. And America, here's the girl next door, all grown up, Caitlin Clark.